So, hey everybody, Roddy here. Um, Again, working on our property. This is day who knows what. Just like any good rehab, there's always going to be a little bit of delay. And remember our channel, we're talking about all things real estate. We do things here in Houston. And if you need any help with any questions related, feel free to give me a call. My number will be below. And so today, what they're doing, as you can see behind me, is they are working on the foundation. And again, this is an issue that we knew we had. And so they got out here early this morning. They got to work. And if you see, they're building they dug some holes and they're putting in some pilings. So if you look behind me, you notice there's some holes and they're putting in some pilings. Altogether, there's 29. That's going to go pretty much 3/4 of the house to lift it. And over here also on our addition, on this part here, you can kind of tell it's already on pier and beam. They're going to lift this as well. So once they're done today, everything should be nice and even, and we're just going to be able to finish out the rest of the property. It's a lot of work, but they're going to be doing it. They started about 9:30, and they said they expect to be finished by about 3. So we're happy so far. Everything seems to be going. The guys are off on a lunch break.
How we found this company and how many codes we got and how long we have been waiting for fixing the foundation.
Good question. Yeah, so the company we went with is called Allied Foundation. We probably had at least 7 to 8 companies come out here to give us quotes. This one kind of just seemed to be the best quote, and they agreed to lift the addition for free, which was nice. Another company wouldn't even give us a quote because they had to go through the addition, and they don't deal with additions on pier and beam. So they said, you know what, we're not going to deal with it. We don't deal with it, so we're not going to give you a quote. So we probably went, like I said, 7 through 8, called all different brands, all different companies, all very well reputable. They were all on a long schedule. I think from when we made an initial call to the time they got out here was almost 3 weeks. Some companies were like 2 months away just to come out and make the inspection, right? And then once they make the inspection, then there's another turnaround. Like for these guys, they came out here about 3 weeks after we made the initial call to do the assessment, and then from that point to today has been about just a little over a month. So I think that was one of the things we took into consideration also, is that they were able to get out here quickly and they were able to do the turnaround and come out here and start the work pretty quickly. Like I said, some companies were barely going to be able to come out like a week ago when we first called, and then so we would have to wait for them to come out here and then wait another month or two till maybe February before they could come out and start the work. So we're like, nah, that's just too much time. We want to be in here, everything's settled. This company had good pricing. They were able to get out here quickly and quick turnaround and fast work. So that's why we chose this company. And like I said, we'll see how it goes. We'll let you know.
Why in Houston, like we have to wait for this long to get the foundation company here? Is that something to do with the Houston's one of the
Yeah.
house
So
got foundation issues?
Houston and this part of the country and this part of Texas, it's definitely an issue with foundations. There's a lot of leveling issues. It's something that's pretty common, right? So if you do move out to Houston, expect to find that in any houses you're thinking about buying, right? That's going to be a pretty common issue, and you shouldn't be afraid of that, right? You may find a house that doesn't have leveling issues or foundation issues, but down the way there may be some, and you really shouldn't be scared of that because it's pretty common. I'm not exactly sure what type of soil it is here, but again, this part of Texas, East Texas, it is a pretty common issue to deal with shifting of the houses and foundations. So things you should look for if you're not too sure if there's issues with foundation, things like, are there cracks in the sheetrock that kind of come at an angle? Right? If they're straight up and down, that could just be where they're separating from the tape, right? That may not be an issue as far as the foundation, but if they're kind of coming at an angle, especially around windows or doors, that could be a big signal. Or if doors are getting stuck, they're not closing properly or shutting properly, or they just kind of tend to swing open, those could be signs of there being leveling issues in the house, and it could be related to the foundation. So those are all things you should keep in mind, right, when you look into a house. Kind of close doors, open doors, look around the windows to see if there's any cracks. Maybe even on the outside. Sometimes you can see some vertical cracks running along the brick. That could be another issue as well. Now, sometimes houses get old and the mortar breaks, so that may or may not be an issue with the foundation, but it could be a signal of issues, especially if you see things on the inside as well. So those things together could mean issues of there being problems with the foundation.
So is that something buyers should consider as they are not professional inspector when they buy a house,
Yeah.
no matter for their own home or they buy it as a rental or
Sure.
flipping the house, what they should consider?
Well, once you start looking at the house itself, right, and you do your your initial inspection, whether you're a professional or not, and you think there may be issues. Well, the one thing you're going to do when you buy a house is you should always have an option period. Right? An option period could be 3, 5, 7 days, however you negotiate it with you and your realtor. Once that's negotiated, you should bring in a professional, right, an inspector, to look at the house, and they can tell you pretty quickly whether there's going to be issues with the foundation. Now, if there is, a couple of things, right? Some people may not feel comfortable working with foundation issues, especially if they're new. And if you're under the option period, you can just back out and you don't lose anything, right? Except your time. Or you can renegotiate the price, right? And to try to get the price lower because you're going to have to fix it and use that money to fix the foundation. Because a lot of times banks may not lend on a house, depending on how severe the issue is. So it's pretty severe, the bank will just say nope. But it could be negotiated where it could be fixed around the same time, and then the bank can work on it and maybe will allow it, but that takes a little bit of coordination with everybody, the foundation companies, the banks, the sellers, buyers, so that could be a little messy. So again, just things to consider. If there's issues, get a professional, get it inspected. If there is, you can always back out or renegotiate prices.
If there's a foundation was fixed before and they have a warranty, what we should look at those situations.
Right. So any good foundation company, just like all the ones that we looked at, every single one that we looked at had been around for at least 15 years or longer, right? And they pretty much all offer lifetime transferable warranties. Now, again, there are some stipulations in the contracts, and again, everyone's going to be a little different, so you need to kind of look into that. But again, one thing we've kind of seen and read about a little bit was some other people in the past was they went with a company that was kind of new, maybe a couple of years old, 4 or 5 years, and they, oh yeah, we offer a lifetime transferable warranty. And then 4 or 5 years down the line, that company's gone. So you're stuck with a piece of paper that's worthless. And if you have issues with your foundation, which there's going to be a good chance that you're going to have more foundation issues in the future, even if you do fix it. That's just kind of part of life here in this part of Texas. Make sure you go with a company that's been around a long time, that's vetted. Some of the companies we called were 60 plus years they've been around. So they're going to be here for the most part. So they're going to have warranties that are transferable, right? You send them over to the new owner, they'll come out, do an inspection, and again, they can come back and do any work. Like on the other side of our house, that's actually a different company. We're still waiting for them to come out. But again, they're going to come out, it's still under their warranty, and then they'll come out and they'll fix and re-raise that section of the house, which is on the other side. Yeah.
The foundation companies, do they have different ways to fix foundation?
Yeah, so there are a few different ways that we've found out. Even as we've gone through this experience, we learned of different ways that this is done. The most common way, like these guys are doing, is they go down, they dig deep into the ground until they, maybe a meter or so, and then they put some pilings, which are just concrete blocks, right? And then they kind of jam them into the ground. They use some hydraulic jacks to kind of push them further into the ground to make sure they're nice and stable. They put some concrete pilings, and then they literally jack up the property, and then they put little shimmies, which are small, thinner pieces of concrete or metal to kind of hold the foundation in place. Which again, over time, right, that's why the foundation can settle again, because you have the weight of the house on these pilings just in the ground, and they could be pushed down a little bit over time. Two other ways we found out through two other companies, which were pretty interesting. One was what they call poly, which is actually they come in, and it's probably the least invasive in the sense that they go and they put a little tiny hole on one side of the property, and they actually spray foam right under the whole entire property. It's a foam that they use with NASA and the space programs. It's highly durable, and it literally just lifts up the whole entire property with the foam as it dries and expands. Another way that we found was with a company that they go way deep. They go down as far, you're talking, I forgot what he said, maybe 20, 30, 40 feet down. They go down into the bedrock. They go way deep into the ground until they hit solid ground. And they put down these solid pilings, also on hydraulic jacks. And those, they guarantee, will never move, right? They're the most expensive, right? But if you're looking into a house that you're going to be in, that you want to live in for 20, 30 years the rest of your life, that could be a company you consider, right? From what we heard, they tend to do big industrial projects or kind of high-end homes because, again, they are very expensive, but they guarantee that that house will not move an inch, right? As compared to these companies, expect that in maybe 5, 6, 8, 10 years down the road, they might come back and have to lift it just a little bit. It won't be as extensive work. But those guys said, nope, we will never have to come out again. I mean, of course they will, but they pretty much stand behind their company. They have all kinds of certifications from scientists all over the world and all this research behind it that it'll never ever move. So that was kind of interesting. So there are other ways that people can fix their foundation.
So what's the price range we're looking at? Just for example, use our house.
So the least expensive is actually that poly. They were quoting about 8,000, 7 to 8,000 to come in and do the poly, which is the spray foam that goes underneath and it lifts the house. And they said that they can come back anytime in the future if it does resettle. Again, they leave the hole, which they said is about the size of your pinky, on the side of the house. They just come in again and spray it more with foam, and it'll lift the house wherever. It'll automatically kind of seek out those low areas, and they can lift the house wherever it's thinking. Or compared to like these piling companies, you're looking at anywhere between 10 to I think 18 was the highest, right? And then the most expensive company, which was a company that actually digs into the bedrock and they guarantee their work forever, I think that was about 30,000. So the short answer, between 8 to 30,000 is what it's going to cost to fix your house.
That's for our house,
That's
which
for our house.
which is our house. What's the size?
We're about 1,800 square feet, and they're also going to lift the addition, and we also had 29 pilings, right? So that's pretty extensive work. Some properties may only need 4 or 5 pilings on one side of the house, so it's going to vary, of course. You can do the math, maybe per piling, it's a few $100s, per piling. But I don't know the exact number on that. So for 29 pilings, you're going to be looking at about 10 to 30,000. Okay, so the foundation company has come and gone, and everything has been done. We've already kind of walked through. So let's go take a look at the true cost of doing some foundation work, especially on this size and scope. So one of the things you may notice, they even took out some of these bushes were gone. You can see they did 6 pilings here through the actual patio itself and raised that. So now it's leveled out. And let's go check out the inside now. So the first big piece you notice is right here. Kind of see a little separation between the beadboard. That's the little first thing we noticed. That's kind of the first big piece. Everything else in this part of the house, not too bad. There's some stuff in the back room that we saw, but the main thing that happened, and that we kind of knew was going to happen, was a lot of separation in the sheetrock in the rooms. So it kind of looked a little bit like this. See these cracks here, a little bit of separation on the ceiling and the sheetrock. Again, these are things we kind of expected. And then, because the house was so, the foundation was pretty bad in some areas, even some of the doors are now stuck. So they're gonna have to be taken out, rehung, maybe kind of shaved down a little bit to make them fit properly. And again, you see another separation. These doors actually close better. Again, nothing major, same thing. If you look around, this door doesn't close, and a little separation, not too bad. And up in the top corner of the molding and the ceiling separated. The worst part was in our room, but we kind of expected that. Again, mainly because this was the biggest area of slope. That back corner back down there was over 3 inches they lifted, about 3.5, about 3.5 inches. So by lifting it that much and moving the whole entire foundation that much, caused a lot of damage in here. So again, separation. Notice back here. Oh, here on the around the door, you got some separation here as well. Pretty big. And the biggest area was over here in our bathroom, excuse me. You see here, all this, a little bit over here, but the worst part was on the inside. So this is where you have the biggest cracks that you see up here on the wall, separating, and in our closet, back in here. All coming down.
Oh, I didn't see that before.
Yeah. Maybe a little crack in the flooring separating. So
that's 3-inch. They lifted.
So yeah, they lifted this corner 3 inches, right? Mm-hmm. And so we kind of shifted everything. We knew that. So now we're gonna have to come back here, mud, float tape these areas, put some mud back on there, repaint them, and you can see. I don't know. Just look at this door frame. That's you can see it's kind of crooked. The whole frame moved, And I was talking about that with the contractor, and we're probably saying, yeah, after so many years of that, the house just being slanted off foundation, they probably had to replace the doors at some point at this, and they probably just built them to be on a crooked foundation. So when we fixed it and made everything straight, you kind of see the whole door just kind of
Yeah, that makes
shifted,
sense.
right? So they might have to reframe this, but that's what's going to have to be done. We figured normally when you do a renovation, it's always better to do the foundation first, because again, you can kind of fix these issues as you're doing the renovation. We knew this was going to happen. We kind of felt that, but we figured it'd be better just to do it this way and just live with the cracks and having to do little things so we can move in here. We can still move in, at least live here while they kind of finish out the house. I mean, this may have pushed us back maybe another week to kind of finish everything out, but it would have been better than having to wait for today and then start the beginning of the renovation tomorrow and then have to wait another 2 months or more to finally move in here, which would be like in March. And we didn't want to wait that long. And of course, moving back from Mexico, not really having a place to stay, Airbnb, now we're in a hotel. We're just like, no, we want to be in the house as soon as we can. So we can have our bed, the kitchen's functionable, we'll have our bathroom, we can shower, do all the stuff we need to. And they can come in here about 1 more week and the house should be probably completely done. Hopefully.
Yeah, for anyone, if they just flip a house as a business, so of course they should do the foundation first.
Right. And just like I mentioned, this was a huge foundation project. Most normally don't need this much foundation work. Maybe 4 or 5 pilings, 10. This was triple that. This is close to pretty much 30 pilings plus the other side we still have to do, which is another 7. So this is a major foundation repair. So you probably wouldn't see this much damage. You could, if you only had to do like this room only had to be fixed, then you could really fix the rest of the house and then just leave this room not done until they lift it, and then just come in and finish the room real quick in a day or 2, and then the house would be done, ready to put on the market or to rent. But again, we're living here, so we needed this to be ready so we can live in here and kind of move on. So that's the true cost. I don't know.
You want to see the addition part?
Oh, this was the addition.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so if you notice this hole, and this is where they had to dig in and do another piling. We have 3 like this. Luckily, this was done on the addition part, so they just had to kind of cut through the wooden floorboard to get to the foundation. So again, really not, it looks bad. I know most people will probably be, oh no, but it's really not that big of a fix. Come in, put some more plywood on the bottom, put on the flooring. That's an easy fix. Nothing too bad. But everything else is flattened out. We have 2 more, one over there, one in the closets. Little crack above. And the window there as well. And then the main thing we noticed here was kind of the shifting in the boards. You kind of see here, these were all flush before. This was all flush to the wall. So that kind of all got moved. And this is where we saw the biggest movement. Was this area right here. So we'll probably have to kind of put some trim. Would probably be the easiest fix. To kind of just put a little trim here, and you won't really be able to tell much of anything. But hey, that's part of the process. You do things, you fix things, things happen. You find the best solution, and take it all in stride. That's the best we can do. All right. So, on our addition part over here, they removed some blocks and put some new ones in and put some new shims. As you can see, they kind of these are new blocks. Put some better shims to level it out. So they did the whole entire addition back here.
You can see how much this has been lifted.
Yeah. But you can see how much is straightened out. I know nobody knows this, but actually right here, these 2 boards before were actually kind of bowed out. So maybe, a good inch or so, inch and a half. But once they leveled everything out, they pushed it back in. That was just done automatically just by leveling out the addition. So again, that definitely helped level out everything in the back. Same here. And again, before I could kind of see how the bottom beam was bowed down a little bit. Now it looks more level. So when you walk inside, you definitely feel it. The biggest place you feel it, this is our bedroom now. We talked about the 3 inches was in the corner. You can actually see how much it was lifted. Here's the water bottle for reference. So you can kind of see the line almost right here. So that's how much they lifted it, about approximately up to that line. So that's a pretty big lift.
We're lucky, no window got a crack.
Yeah, no windows, no doors broken, just a few things displaced and some separation on the sheetrock. But overall, pretty lucky. I think pretty successful. And like I said, it maybe pushed us back a week, but I'll take that. You know, and our house should be ready to go and ready for us to enjoy. All right, we'll see you. All right, so that's our day here with Foundation. Once again, if you have any questions about real estate here in the Houston area, again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a licensed realtor, or any questions about buying investment properties, we'd love to hear from you. Also, if you've had any experience with Foundation, let us know. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. And again, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.